Yesterday was an enormous day here in the capital city of Raleigh, North Carolina, where we are based. I know you're listening to us all over the state, but we are based in Raleigh. Huge day, Centennial Authority, the Carolina Hurricanes, the city of Raleigh, Wake County, everybody signing documents, probably on that DocuSign thing. DocuSign is awesome. Who invented that? Who invented DocuSign?
Even though my signature always looks weird.
Doesn't matter.
It's never good.
It's a click. Boom.
Yeah.
You could do it on your phone with your finger. Nobel Prize for the DocuSign people. All right, we're going to talk to Philip Isley, the chairman of the Centennial Authority, about how big a day it was yesterday. Next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
If you love baseball as much as we do, play ball! Then you'll want to tune into 99.9 The Fan on Sunday nights this summer.
This one way back to left. Forget about it. It's gone.
Atlanta to Philly, St. Louis to L.A. Major League Baseball's best matchups will come to life.
Ground ball diving stop at third by Turner from his knees. He throws on to first and gets him.
Sunday Night Baseball on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Baker Roofing.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Adam Gold here from my friends at CertaPro Painters, the painting professionals. And let me tell you, that's something that I don't want to do in my own house. My wife likes it. I don't. These people love it. They are the professionals. You can also trust them to get the job done right and safely and quickly. And each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated, which means they live in our community. And you can schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event when Dave, the sales guy, asks, "Want to test drive the Rogue?" And I'm like, "Let's go." We're driving when Dave says, "Check out the VC turbo engine." I hit the gas and whoosh. I'm like, "Okay, I wasn't expecting that." Dave goes, "If you think that's cool, watch this." Dave shows me the miles per gallon and I'm like, "Whoa, that's pretty impressive fuel economy." Dave mentions, "These new cars are going fast." And in that moment, I had to have that Rogue. Crazy, right?
Wait till you hear how I got my Sentra.
Get up to $1,000 July 4th bonus cash on select 2024 Rogue trims. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city, 34 highway to 30 city, 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. $1,000 July 4th bonus cash on 2024 Rogue Platinum. $500 July 4th bonus cash on 2024 Rogue SV and SL trims. Available on lease or purchase from new dealer stock. Contact dealer for details. N7824.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities. Just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling. Better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate. If your inefficient windows are costing you too much for air conditioning, that's a big deal. Now during Window Nation's semi-annual sale, you can replace them and save a big deal too. Offer ends June 30th, so schedule your in-home estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
This is Adam Gold
Subway Series, Game 2. Mets, Yankees should be fun. Good luck to the Yankees, not at all. The Mets are underdogs at home, plus 110. No respect at all for the team that is playing the best baseball in the month of June.
How McRude.
The Adam Gold Show.
Yesterday was a momentous day for the city of Raleigh, for Wake County, for fans of NC State and the Carolina Hurricanes. Philip Isley is the chairman of the Centennial Authority, and he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Before we get to what happened yesterday, because I found you on Twitter, and I know you don't do a lot of tweeting. So for people who are interested, it is Philip Isley 67. I'll get to the significance of the 67 if there's a story behind it. And I'm staring at this and I can't believe it, because you have only one tweet and it's pinned, and it's been there for, my gosh, almost a full year. The 10th president of the United States, John Tyler, has a living grandson, not a great-grandson, not a great-great-grandson. John Tyler was born in 1790. I'm reading this right off your Twitter. I am blown away by that. I'm sure you are, because it's still the only thing on your Twitter page. Explain yourself.
So one of his great-grandchildren was my roommate in college for 2 years.
Nice.
And I was actually at my 35th college reunion in May, and the grandson is still alive. We talked about this at length, but John Tyler's second wife, Julia, I think had 5 or 6 kids, but his first wife had 4 or 5. So I think in all he had like 11 kids. And his last, I believe he sired in his 80s, sort of a Strom Thurmond vitality. Back in the day.
I'm just blown away by the use of the word sired. That whole thing is very good. All right. So I know it's not the way you expected to start this conversation, but it blew me away, and I thought people would find that at least mildly amusing. I have found it even more amusing now that we've talked about it. All right. To events of yesterday. There are a lot of mile markers in your effort to get this done and taking over the Centennial Authority, which owns and operates the old Raleigh Entertainment and Sports Arena, now PNC Arena. What does this mile marker signify? Let's just say for Raleigh first, and then I'm gonna want your personal thought on it.
Well, it finally gets us to where everyone thought we would be 25 years ago, that once the arena was built, there would be a mixed-use development around the arena. It would be great. It would jumpstart West Raleigh development, and that never happened. So for Raleigh in particular, it really puts this area on the map with respect to the entertainment district that I know that Tom Dundon wants to create around the arena. But more importantly, especially for Raleigh, it puts in additional food and beverage opportunities, retail opportunities, probably 2 hotels, and then most importantly, the residential component has an AMI of 80% for a percentage of all the housing that goes up there for the next 20 years. Actually, it's probably longer than that. But that was a big deal to the city council to get our approval last year. And the term sheet had some wiggle room in there with commercially reasonable efforts. And we were able to negotiate a guarantee in these documents that it's going to happen. So there will be, I think it's 10% of the units constructed will have at a 80% AMI workforce housing, which for a family of 4 in Wake County now is in the $90,000 range.
Nice. Philip Isley, chairman of the Centennial Authority, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I mean, I have a lot of questions just off that, but let me just get to one. Why did it not happen? Why was there no progress made? Was there not enough of a commitment on the part of the city, on the part of the 2 tenants, for basically the 2 tenants at PNC Arena are NC State and the Carolina Hurricanes? was the former ownership against the outlay of money. I mean, we know Peter Carmanos was not, wealthy like we think other professional franchise owners are wealthy. So why hadn't any progress been made on that before?
Well, the documents initially allowed the owner of the Hurricanes to have these development rights. And so that was Carmanos.
Right.
So, and the city really had very little to do with that because, it's in the city limits. They would have some zoning authority and things of that nature. But this was effectively, even though there's a bunch of asphalt around there, this is a greenfield development with all the infrastructure in place. So it's ideally situated for development. Carmanos really just didn't want to do it. And I was on the city council from 01 to 09. And we had a couple of ideas that went out there, but this never really had anybody that wanted to do it. And nor did Carmanos want to assign these rights to any developer in town. Things were also different early on, just between ownership of the Hurricanes, sort of the NC State dynamic. People were still trying to figure out where their lanes were, what would be good out there. But, for a variety of reasons, it just didn't happen, sadly. And that area in Raleigh has languished until very recently. And I do think this is going to jumpstart the early stages of development that are ongoing right now. This really is going to get these going on steroids.
I can't say that in connection to professional sports. Philip Isley, chairman of the Centennial Authority, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. So I drive from my home in Oxford basically straight down Edwards Mill Road. When I go home, when I leave the arena after a hockey game, I make a right on Edwards Mill, and then I turn into my driveway. I won't say, how long I drive north is immaterial, but I am familiar with that stretch of road as we get closer to the arena. And essentially, it's always been basically nothing. Now, we do have broadband on the right? Once you pass like Raleigh, or I think it's Raleigh Ortho or something, when you cross over Blue Ridge and Durham, there's really nothing except that new office building on the right-hand side. Other than that, it's basically wide open space. So, yeah, that part of the city definitely has been, I don't know if neglected is the right word, but it certainly has not been, the value has not been maximized. So if you could give us an idea of how far north along Edwards Mill we expect to start seeing things over the next 4 or 5 years.
Well, what I hope, and Steve Troxler, Commissioner Troxler, Secretary of Agriculture, really deserves a lot of credit for helping me coalesce in my mind the value of this area when he sold the land to Bandwidth that allowed him to finish his training and standards, brand new building.
Right.
He was able to put I think it was $1 million bridge to a new gravel lot for the state fairgrounds that really improved parking capability. The state shedding land that they own does not happen a lot. It's not normal. State agencies like their property. But in today's world, when the value of property is so high in Raleigh, and there's so many needs for state buildings and state agencies, people or agencies that possess land and can get a fair market value for their acreage is really impacting the taxpayer of North Carolina in a very positive manner. It also benefits Raleigh and Wake, obviously. But you have all that land between Bandwidth and the basically Wade Avenue.
Right.
I wonder what could go there if a sports and entertainment district were to get a little brother called a baseball team. There is.
I joked about it yesterday. Yeah.
There is, and look, there are plenty of great spots in Raleigh where we could host a baseball team, or Cary. I mean, Fenton, downtown South. There's lots of places, but I know in conversations with folks that whether it's baseball or not, the state really does want to look at other options it has for that sort of property. There's a large capital need for improving the fairgrounds too, and so the sale of real property that's adjacent to the fairgrounds can go into rehabbing some of their buildings and facilities. But ultimately, I think what you're going to see there is either a combination of an extension of an office park for corporate entities, or some type of new entertainment aspect to this, whether it's baseball or or something else that we don't even know about right now.
Philip Isley, baseball, soccer, right? I mean, we had, wasn't that long ago, we were talking about plans for a soccer facility down like in the Peachtree area by the government buildings, right? Wasn't that long ago we were talking about that. Let me get to a couple of other things here because I want you to kind of walk me through your journey here. And I know you got emotional yesterday. I'm not trying to make you emotional here. But when you started this process to where you are today, which I'm sure is quite more relaxed than maybe you've been over the last couple of years, walk me through how you navigated all of this.
I've told a lot of people that I got lied to when I was asked to consider being the chairman, and either I wasn't paying attention when I was on the authority or not, but I didn't really fully appreciate that we had to get these deals done in a short period of time after I was elected to be chairman. And I mean, the spigot turned on full force within 12 hours of my election in December. And I think I've said this the last time I talked to you that, Redundant calls me. I don't know who it is. And I, really didn't take his call that day. So from that point forward till yesterday, we've been navigating numerous governmental agencies at the state level, at the city and the county level, not to mention the General Assembly, all of the things you have to do, just that, including talking to the tenants of NC State and Tom Dundon. And it's been a juggling act of, from my standpoint, I've been amazed is not the right word, but surprised that things were happening so rapidly and also in a positive direction as we started having these conversations. And so, we went about a year and a half to get to last year's historic signing of the 4-page term sheets for development and arena enhancement. And that was a nice, okay, great. And little did I know that was the easy part.
Right.
We still had to get authority from the city and the county and the interlocal fund to get our $300 million for the enhancement. We then had to get, once that was signed in May, we began in earnest to really get going on the documents themselves for the lease extension for the arena redevelopment. And in the middle of all this, Don Waddell leaves. So it has been a journey, to say the least. And, I almost got emotional yesterday. It was weird. Adam, you know this. I sent you an email last year from my old basketball coach.
Yeah.
He said really nice things about me. And I read that for some reason yesterday morning. He actually died on Father's Day.
Oh,
and
no.
So he did. But reading that email yesterday morning, something just, I don't know why I did it, but the things that he said and the things we just accomplished it sort of moved me. And I'm still amazed that I'm the guy who's been, driving the car, because I just can't imagine anyone telling me 5 years ago that I would be involved in this, that I would have, this ability to sort of bring all these disparate and divergent parties together where every single person is holding hands right now. And that's really cool. And that's honestly, you're the first person I've told this to. That's sort of, it hit me in a weird way yesterday, but also makes me really proud and feel very fortunate and lucky that I was able to be part of this historic opportunity for our city and our county and our state and our region. And I'm just, I really haven't appreciated that until yesterday. And I've gotten so many nice text messages. I haven't even showed my wife them because it sounds like I'm bragging or I'm a narcissist or something, but it's really meaningful. And the News and Observer gave me a nice accolade in January. I got the Order of the Longleaf Pine from Governor Cooper 2 weeks ago. So for all the stress that it has been heaped upon me, the fact that I don't get a dime for doing this job, it's been worth it. And I know we still have a ton of work to do, but I really am excited and happy that we've come here, and I'm very, very energetic of what's yet to come. I hope I'm on the board, for a little while longer. Not sure I want to be the main guy after we start getting things built. or we're looking at new arenas in 2039.
Aha!
But I do hope I get to see the fruit of all of the labor from not just me, but my board and the owner and NC State, who have been great, really great to work with.
Philip Isley is here, chairman of the Centennial Authority, at least for now. Let me just clear a couple of things out, and I'm going to ask you one more question, and I'll let you go. One, I have also, at times, ignored calls from Tom Dundon. So he calls me mostly about hockey matters, and if I don't feel like I've got time, because when you're on the phone with Tom, sometimes it can go 40 minutes. Why, I don't know, but it does. And if I don't think I have that time, I'll just let it go to voice. He doesn't even leave a voicemail. You just have to get back to him at some point. Earlier I said broadband, it's bandwidth. I don't know why I get those two things mixed up, except that it's me. And Roy Cooper's a huge Hurricanes fan, so I would imagine that anything that benefits the Carolina Hurricanes, he's going to be all about. Let me ask you a very quick question. The $300 million that has been, I guess, unlocked. That's not new monies. That's monies that's been sitting there waiting to be used, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the interlocal agreement. Right. It's the hotel, food, and beverage. We have to go through a process at the local government commission to be able to let bonds to pay for all this, but that's going to happen this fall. The importance of getting these documents signed by Sunday, the 30th, was so got our ducks in a row. We can go to the LGC when we need to, get that approved, and then hit the ground running in 2025. Both enhancement inside the arena as well as outside the arena with shovels in the asphalt, building cool things in the years to come. All
right, and stuff I read yesterday, arena enhancements won't begin probably until after next season. If I read that correctly, my reading comprehension's not always outstanding. But something you referenced, and I brought this up yesterday, because you and I don't know if you remember this, but I do. I have never forgotten it. I've referenced it, I don't know how many times, probably 50. This is a long time ago, back in a different building, when you were just a member of the city council. You had mentioned to me that this is maybe the arena had been open only about 8 or 9 years, that you guys had already had discussions, not plans or anything, but discussions about, at that point, a downtown arena for whether it was NC State or the Hurricanes or whatever. So you referenced it here, 2039. When does something like that begin, where, now it's time for a new home for the Carolina Hurricanes and the new NBA team that will be here? I'm just obviously kidding here, but whatever. When do those discussions start?
So by contract, what we have agreed to sign as of yesterday, we're going to look at the shape of the building in 2039. We'll have an assessment prior to that milestone. What does the building look like? What are its needs? Should we stay here, or should we go and look at the building a new one? We have intentionally left, if you look at the parking lot of the arena from sort of a drone shot,
right?
If the thing gets built out the way they're at least looking at it right now over those 15, 20 years, I would say if you're looking at it from a clock standpoint, from 12 to 3, there's still surface parking lot, untouched.
Okay.
That'd be a pretty swell location to start your brand new arena right there, have it being built while you're still playing in the old arena. And then once the new one is completed, you knock down the current PNC, and then you fill in with the last piece of development right there, where everything has been developed around it thus far. And so whether that's a good idea or a bad idea, again, I'm probably not going to be the guy making that decision, but we have thought strategically on how that would look when we have to have this conversation. And in all candor, Tom Dundon has the right. If we say we're not doing anything to the building, he can exercise an option to take the team somewhere else.
Yes, he can.
So he has that option. And I think that's fair to him, and it's fair to us as a community. I know what that interlocal fund looks like. I know how much money is coming in there. We should be able to bank enough money throughout these next 15 to 20 years that if that becomes a necessity to keep the team, we're at least in a position to have assets and the ability to do something that would also last another 20 to 40 to 50 years. We've been really fortunate that our building is going to be this sort of used this long. and still in this good a shape with this enhancement. We're very proud of that. And I think if you go around and ask anybody in the league or other colleges, despite the age of this building, it's still a great building, and it's going to be even better.
Philip Isley, chairman of the Centennial Authority. We'll talk about other things another time. I hope you stay on the committee for as long as I get to talk to you. So I appreciate your time, sir. Congratulations, and best to John Tyler's living grandson.
You're the man, Adam. Take care, man.
I don't know. I found the John Tyler thing very entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Born in 1790, there's a living grandson. Grandson.
Grandson. Not great.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, one-timers and some potentially monumental Hurricanes news. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Some call it overplanning. At Alternative Power, we call it foresight. Be prepared for the next power outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Generac, it's not just a generator, it's a power move. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
Virtual healthcare is changing the way that traditional medicine is being delivered. Ironically, treating some people from afar is actually increasing access to medical health. Dr. Matt Anderson is with Charlotte-based Advocate Health, a member of the North Carolina Healthcare Association. He says telehealth is enhancing the ability of doctors and nurses to treat more people in better ways.
What we've really tried to do is build out that infrastructure from a virtual standpoint to enable us to better impact the health of our communities in a more convenient, simple, and easy way.
Learn how telehealth methodologies are not only saving people money, but how virtual medicine is transforming lives and the health of our communities. I'm Christine Bellino. Join me and my guest, Dr. Matt Anderson, for the latest edition of Conversations on the State of Healthcare, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association. And for more information, listen to our podcast on the North Carolina News Network and visit nchealthcare.org.
You wouldn't ask your mechanic to help stage your property for an open house. As NC Realtors, we're experts who make buying or selling property easier for you. Using the latest technology and armed with local insights, our Realtors help you find properties you would want to call home. We also know which details make your property more attractive to other buyers. From start to finish, our Realtors know. Find out more at ncrealtorsknow.com.
The North Carolina Zoo is celebrating 50 wild years in 2024. Voted top zoo in the nation, the North Carolina Zoo is centrally located in Asheboro. Bring your family for a day trip or a weekend excursion to connect with nature and make cherished memories. Discover towering giraffes, a herd of elephants, a crash of rhinos, and a flock of seabirds. Plus, ride an endangered species carousel and stroll through the exotic butterfly garden. Plan your next outdoor adventure at nczoo.org.
Healthcare is in crisis, but there is a solution. Adults with a primary care physician have 33% lower healthcare costs and better health outcomes. It's time to reinvest in family medicine and other primary care specialties, the foundation of our healthcare system. Let our state and our insurers know that it's time to increase investment in primary care. To learn more, go to primarycarenc.org. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina Academy of Family Physicians. From the mountains to the coast, 2.5 million North Carolinians are members of an electric cooperative. Every day, this network of 26 electric co-ops is working together with local members like you to power a brighter future through innovative energy technologies, community support, and enhanced grid reliability. Learn more about our brighter future vision at ncelectriccooperatives.com. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, powering a brighter future.
Everyone goes through tough times, and everyone can get through them, as long as they don't have to do it alone. Dial 988 if you need someone to talk to. Get what you need to get to a better place. Together, we'll find the care that works best for you. We're here 24/7. Call, text, or chat 988. 988. Let's get through it together. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Adam Gold.
There are people out there that just, you must draft a quarterback.
Yeah, why you don't want a quarterback?
Exactly. What is wrong with you? You don't want apple pie?
Right.
Come on.
A la mode? Oh, maybe I like brownies, okay?
I don't want it there.
The temptation.
Yeah, I don't need it. Because I can convince myself, apple's healthy.
Right.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria, producing the program. A special Hour 2 edition of the Roundtable coming up. Looking forward to that. NHL Draft is tonight. Before we do one-timers, I did a podcast last night. Speaking of podcasts, especially the Adam Gold Show is available for you wherever you get your podcast. Also, we spit a lot of that stuff out on YouTube. Go to the Adam Gold Show page on YouTube. You can see, past interviews, like the interview we did with Philip Isley, the chairman of the Centennial Authority. That was an entertaining, I think, an informative conversation. It is there for you.
Yeah.
Whenever it is. If you missed part of it, if you came in late, you didn't hear us talking about John Tyler, the 10th president of the United States, because we are nothing if not thorough and wide-reaching here. Then you could see it at the front of our conversation. Just go to the Best of the Adam Gold Show page on YouTube. It's all there for you. All right, today is the NHL Draft. Yesterday, I jumped on the YouTubes and did a Canes Corner podcast, pre-draft edition of the Canes Corner podcast. We will get to a post-draft edition of the Canes Corner podcast in good time. I am the last thing that resembles a draft expert. I couldn't tell you one player in this draft not named Macklin Celebrini. He's the only guy I know. I've never seen him play. I assume he's good. He's going to be the first pick in the draft by San Jose. So after the whole draft, after a lot of the moves are made on draft day, we will assess all of those in a Canes Corner podcast. Anything else that would come out as a Canes Corner podcast would be likely emergency-based, meaning did something happen that would necessitate quickly to the Canes Corner podcast page, like the bat phone? Possibly.
Yes.
Possibly. Maybe later.
Okay.
So according to Elliot Friedman, Sportsnet in Canada, Hockey Night in Canada, 32 Thoughts, the podcast, probably the most plugged in of all of the NHL insiders, and there's a lot of great ones, not denigrating any of them. According to Elliot Friedman, he said today on Jeff Merrick's radio show in Toronto, Jeff Merrick is the guy who does 32 Thoughts, the podcast with him, but also hosts his own radio show. Friedman says that the Carolina Hurricanes are going to meet the Jake Gensel contract demand. Now, I don't know what those demands are. I mean, it might be just a little bit of a sweetener to where they were the other day, which was a shade under $8 million a year. Maybe they go to, 8.125. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm just bringing this because it has been brought to my attention that the Hurricanes are willing to do that. All right. First of all, yay.
Right. Automatic yay.
Secondly, if that is the case and the Hurricanes can announce a signing, I will be stunned if they don't also move Martin Necas today before the draft, because there are teams who are interested in Necas who have top 10-ish picks.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going to do that, It's not the only thing you're going to get from Martin Necas, but if you are willing to do that, although maybe, it all depends. If it's Buffalo and they've got the 4th pick, which I think they do, the 4th pick could play this year. Would not only give you a player, but also a low-cost player. Anyway, my point is simply that there might be reason to do an emergency Canes Corner podcast.
Be curious about the ripple effect.
And I am all about emergency podcasts.
Good ones.
Even if they're not really emergencies. Come on. We could probably come up with a better word, but I'm not smart enough to do that. All right, one-timers.
Okay, so let's see here. We'll go with Kyle Filipowski. He was picked up in the second day of the draft, the NBA draft. Now, a lot of people are bringing up his personal life as a reason for this. In what circumstances, if at all, should a pro athlete's personal life be taken into consideration in their professional life?
Only when it bleeds into their... Only when one bleeds into the other and, impacts the other negatively. But so, the fact that his girlfriend is 28, if you go and you read about this, there are some disturbing things about it. Again, not so much on Kyle's part, but the way it's really been shaped. And I have no idea what is true and what is not, because I saw the story 2 days ago and I thought, gosh, that seems like it's fake, but it's still out. I don't know. But as long as it doesn't impact, the basketball, and just like I don't want the basketball to impact the other stuff, right? As long as you can separate the two, then it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter to anybody, except Kyle's family.
Exactly. Well, next up, so Raleigh, PNC area will be seeing, will be looking different. That's going to be seeing some renovations. So now that the ink is drying, what are your top pros and potentially cons for this project?
I have no cons for the project, except that I know that there will not be public transportation as a part of it. I am very much pro light rail, some sort of a way to get around and connect parts of the city. I wish that Raleigh was interested in that, but people are not. Apparently, every other major city has some sort of connectivity, but I can't. I wish we could fast forward 5 years from now and see it all. That's what I want. I am fired up for that to become a destination spot beyond a game or a concert.
All right, and last but not least, so with the NHL draft happening starting today, what do you anticipate the Canes doing if you just had to throw something out there?
They will draft a Russian. I don't know. It seems like all of their prospects are Russian. If there's no trades done and they pick where they are, they will draft somebody that we are likely not to see in the NHL for 2 or 3 years. But if there's a trade, that could be juicy. So that's what I expect.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I think this makes the Knicks a much scarier team just because I know Bridges is going to come in. He's initially going to buy in, and he's going to be another piece of what the Knicks are and what they're hoping to be. And they're clearly saying, Boston, we know you just hung your 18th championship banner. We're coming for you.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Did somebody say free diamond bracelet? That's right. Diamonds Direct is expanding upon their best offer yet. Make any purchase this month and receive a free diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right. Any engagement ring, any diamond necklace, any timepiece. Purchase any item valued at $10,000 or more and receive a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Every purchase of $10,000 or more qualifies. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet ends June 30th. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Ready to unleash your full potential this season? Then head to Pure Hockey. We've got inventory of the top gear arriving from now until year end. So don't miss your chance to score the best selection of sticks, skates, and gear for on or off the ice. At Pure Hockey, you'll also experience industry-leading personalized skate fittings with the newest in advanced 3D scanning technology. So get ready to dominate in the newest skates for the season. Plus, our rewards program is unbeatable. Head to your Wake Forest Pure Hockey store plus 2 other nearby locations and start earning today. Pure Hockey, your ultimate hockey headquarters.
Get ready for a night full of big fights and big action. It's UFC 303, and it can be even bigger. Jump in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. The light heavyweight title is on the line in the main event, but there are so many more amazing matchups happening in Vegas. Money lines, parlays, props, live bets, and so much more. The betting options feel endless on DraftKings. And speaking of amazing, if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD. That's TIMD with no spaces for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Get that big fight feel only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at dkng.co/MMA.
When it comes to mixing drugs, you may think you have a safe approach, but the bottom line is, mixing drugs is never safe. It can cause serious health problems like a heart attack or brain damage. Learn more at cdc.gov/stop-overdose.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's ScottBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I think it is a great coaching challenge for the Hall of Famer to try to get everybody on the same page. And that includes his new defensive coordinator, Jeff Collins, who is used to working with Mississippi State and Florida athletes. And it's different. You cannot make the same play calls and have the same game plan. And I understand that after the last couple years of Gene Chizik, this sit back, read and react, everybody's like, no, we got to go the other way on this. And I get that, but it is just going to be such an immense challenge for him to get everybody on the same page, to generate that positive momentum.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We are going to delve into our roundtable coming up in this hour. So about 20 minutes away. Randy Slack from Wilmington will be joining us. Our friend Josh Graham will jump in.
Almost covering the whole state.
We are close. Maybe we'll bring up the Orioles. No, probably not. Josh would love it.
He would love it.
Randy might not know who they are.
Especially because I read that they're trying to compare the Orioles to my 2016 Cubs here lately. I don't know
In
about
what
that.
way, other than they both play baseball?
Right. Some similar players from the team, the Cubby team that's now with the Oilers. But then also they're trying to say that the Yankees are their biggest hurdle, which are they?
The Orioles' biggest hurdle is the Yankees?
Yeah. Are they, though?
Yeah, probably. I think so.
I don't think they should be too worried.
Well, I mean, certainly lately the Yankees are giving up runs like they're trying to.
Yeah.
They gave up, what was it? Was it 9 yesterday? 11 to the Mets.
I think it was 12 to the Mets.
Was it 12?
Maybe.
They gave up 9 the previous night to the Mets.
Yeah.
Giving up a lot of runs. They got their ace back, and their ace hasn't pitched awfully, although he hasn't pitched well the last couple of times out.
Yeah.
But the rest of their pitching staff has gone to
pitching
in a handbasket.
Man.
So yeah,
it's important.
It can be.
Very.
It absolutely can be. All right, lots to do before we get to the roundtable. So let's take 2, shall we? All right, and we will start with what happened last night in Atlanta. Devastating for the United States of America. 2-1 loss to Panama. So here's what it means, and then we'll explain what happened, why it happened, and I have some, I think, measured criticism. The loss to Panama last night in the second round of group play, the Americans are in Group C, along with Uruguay and Bolivia. Remember, the U.S. beat Bolivia in their first match 2-0. Uruguay is coming up on Monday. The loss to Panama last night, 2-1, means that they have to beat Uruguay. Unless, of course, they think Panama and Bolivia is going to play to a draw, which, I mean, could happen, but probably won't happen. Bolivia is the worst team in the field. Panama is not incompetent. They're not great, but they're not incompetent. Panama now sees a way through with a win. Oh, boy. They're going to go after that. So the United States has to beat Uruguay to stay level on points with Panama. And if they beat Uruguay, they will likely maintain their goal differential because they have a goal differential. A positive, they have a lead in that particular category. I think they're +1. Panama, I think, is -1. So they already have a 2-goal differential lead. So set that aside. They're going to have to beat Uruguay. And that ain't going to be easy. They played Uruguay in a friendly about 1.5 years ago and lost. I think they played that game might have been St. Louis. They're playing this match in Kansas City. But Uruguay has some really, really good talent. Luis Suarez, I think he's still playing for Uruguay. Darwin Nunez, Liverpool striker, who, while he has trouble scoring goals for Liverpool, has had zero problem scoring goals for his country. Palestri, who was at Manchester United, I think he's out on loan somewhere. They've got a good team. Valverde, who plays at Real Madrid, they have a very good team. That is going to be, well, the United States will not be favored in that match. I'll look at the odds in a minute. Anyway, but they lost because one of their best players, forward Tim Weah, was given a straight red card and sent off 18 minutes into the match. They had to play basically 80 minutes down a man. Now, playing 80 minutes down a man, it makes it tougher, right? Well, the United States took a 1-0 lead after Weah was sent off. So they played well enough for the next, 5 minutes to get the lead. And then it kind of disintegrated in maybe a little bit too conservative a setup. And this has been my criticism of the men's national team under Greg Berhalter, the manager, and this is why I question what I saw in Atlanta as to whether or not we have the right guy in charge. It's better put this way. I think Greg Berhalter is risk averse. And I think the United States has not a great side, but a good enough side and some offensively dynamic players. Come on, man, let's push. Let's try to score some freaking goals. And we often don't. They did against Bolivia, just couldn't finish. But for the most part, they're kind of, especially when you play a good side, they're kind of risk averse. And as soon as they went down a man, it was like, oh boy, we can't allow any goals. And basically they just absorbed the ball. They just kind of try to defend their way out of it. And I just don't think that's the right way to do it. But it's probably not why they lost. It's probably they lost because Tim Weah is a good player and you played 80 minutes down a man. I'm not a huge Berhalter guy, but I also don't think that last night was a referendum on him. It was more of a, hey, Tim, what the hell are you doing? That was more about that was my issue with last night. And by the way, Weah, who clearly is one of the U.S.'s best players, is unavailable to them against Uruguay on Monday. When you get a red card, you are gone for the next match too. So that's not good for the U.S. They're going to have to replace Weah. They have some other issues to deal with. They're not good in central defense. They haven't replaced Serginho Dest at right back because they don't have anybody that resembles anything close to that standard. Joe Scally, who's playing, isn't all that great. They've got issues. They do have some great players, though. And let's see them all featured on Monday against Uruguay in a match that absolutely has to be won. Again, Roundtable coming up in about 10 minutes or so. So, I think it was yesterday, there was a verdict there's a court case against the NFL and Sunday Ticket. And the NFL lost this court case. Very NCAA-esque decision. And the NFL has been hit with about a $4 billion penalty. So without getting into the nuts and bolts of the lawsuit, because I don't really, not being a lawyer, I don't want to misstate it. Essentially, the NFL was accused of and sued for preventing people from accessing Sunday Ticket.
Oh, boy.
Right? And this whole thing, I read a very, very good breakdown of the thinking from the NFL when they basically invented Sunday Ticket. I don't know how long we've had Sunday Ticket. 15 years? Maybe more. And the whole point was, hey, we could provide this service because people are transient, or maybe they've always lived in, let's just say, Raleigh, and they've always been fans of the Raiders. And boy, wouldn't it be great to allow them to watch the Raiders? So they've created this package, except the affiliates, the television affiliates, complained. Wait a second, you're giving them the opportunity to watch a game that isn't our game. Therefore, they're not going to be watching us. They're going to be watching that. And it hurts our ratings, and it hurts what we can sell local advertising for. Blah. And the NFL understood. And so the NFL essentially artificially limited who could access it. And their whole stated written plan was to limit the Sunday Ticket market to about 10%. ESPN tried to buy Sunday Ticket, I don't know how long ago. They tried to get the package, right? It moved from DirecTV to YouTube. Was it last year, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I still don't have it. I don't want it. I am not interested.
Same.
Right? I'm not interested for two reasons. One, I have to watch the Panthers.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
I choose to live in my misery.
Right? I have to
support my team.
I consider it a job. I have to do my job.
Yeah.
So I'm going to watch the Panthers. The only team I'd really be interested in watching back in the day would be the Jets. Who the heck wants to do that to you?
No.
So it just doesn't have the appeal. I'm also not a red zone guy. I want context of the football game. I don't need that. I don't care about my fantasy team. I have one. I don't care about it. I don't care to watch my players play or score or not score, as the case may be. But anyway, ESPN have tried to get the DirecTV Sunday ticket package, not DirecTV, the Sunday ticket package, said, hey, you know what we should do? We should lower the cost. Stop right there for a second. ESPN lowering the cost on something. What?
That is so un-ESPN-like.
ESPN wanted to lower the cost so more people would access it. And the NFL went, nope. What?
No, thank you.
Because, again, it was all about protecting the affiliates, which, full stop, we are owned by Capital Broadcasting here in Raleigh, and they own, locally, Fox 50 and WRAL, which is now an NBC affiliate. That wouldn't really matter, the NBC, but Fox does, because they have, for the most part, the NFC package. And they would hate to have people not watch the Panthers when they could watch, a good team. So because of that, the NFL was sued. $4 billion plus later, we might be seeing the end of Sunday Ticket. This, I'm telling you, would be a great deal for consumers. Because what this may end up triggering is individual packages. You're a Chargers fan? You can simply buy the Chargers season and get access to all the Chargers games. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, I could care less about the Lions and Vikings.
Yeah, but maybe somebody does.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to watch the Lions? You
Now
can
you
watch
can.
the Lions all year long.
Yeah.
So it could end up being a great deal for consumers, but it's probably not going to be a great deal for the NFL, who's going to be on the hook for a lot of money. I don't know how this whole thing, the financials are going to play out, but I think this is a positive for football consumers, meaning you, the people who like to watch the games. So I'm a fan of all of that. But again, I'm not a Sunday Ticket subscriber. I did always wonder this because technology is such. Why didn't the NFL just say to local affiliates, hey, regardless of what game is being watched, if it's going on while you have a game on the air, anybody on Sunday Ticket would simply see all of your commercials, all of your local commercials.
Yeah.
We have that technology exists, so it wouldn't matter, but it is all about television ratings as well. Mm-hmm. So it's not just about the eyeballs on the commercials, but I would have to think that number wouldn't be so damaging that it kind of would be baked into the cake. But I don't know. I'm not super smart on all these issues. I am super smart enough to invite two fun people on to do a second hour roundtable here on the last Friday before 4th of July. So a lot of America will be discussed. Randy Slack, Josh Graham, roundtable next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
99.9 The Fan and Arise Urology Clinic present Men's Health Month. Everyone experiences erectile dysfunction occasionally, but if the problem persists, talk with your primary care provider. Conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and prostate disease can cause ED. Diagnosing and treating the underlying cause early can stop the ED from getting worse. Men's Health Month is powered by Arise. Call Arise Urology Clinic for Men at 919-964-3750 or visit CoreWaveTherapy.com.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of a cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+, subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24, void or prohibited.
Now at Circle K, get 2 Mountain Dews for just $4. That's 2 Dews for just $4 at Circle K. Do the Dew.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event when Dave, the sales guy, asks, "Want to test drive the Rogue?" And I'm like, "Let's go." We're driving when Dave says, "Check out the VC turbo engine." I hit the gas and whoosh. I'm like, "Okay, I wasn't expecting that." Dave goes, "If you think that's cool, watch this." Dave shows me the miles per gallon and I'm like, "Whoa, that's pretty impressive fuel economy." Dave mentions, "These new cars are going fast." And in that moment, I had to have that Rogue. Crazy, right?
Wait till you hear how I got my Sentra.
Get up to $1,000 July 4th bonus cash on select 2024 Rogue trims. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city, 34 highway to 30 city, 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. $1,000 July 4th bonus cash on 2024 Rogue Platinum. $500 July 4th bonus cash on 2024 Rogue SV and SL trims. Available on lease or purchase from new dealer stock. Contact dealer for details. N7824.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years. Plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate. If your inefficient windows are costing you too much for air conditioning, that's a big deal. Now during Window Nation's semi-annual sale, you can replace them and save a big deal too. Offer ends June 30th, so schedule your in-home estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
This is Adam Gold.
Subway Series, Game 2. Mets, Yankees should be fun. Good luck to the Yankees, not at all. The Mets are underdogs at home, plus 110. No respect at all for the team that is playing the best baseball in the month of June.
How McRude.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. 15-4 in the month of June. I got a better number for you about the Mets. The Mets are 15-4 in the month of June. Better number for you. After losing their first 5 games of the season with Francisco Alvarez, the Mets catcher, behind the plate, the Mets are 22-3.
Look at them, McMetting.
That kid is legit.
Yeah.
Absolutely dynamite. He's got a bat. It's good. I mean, he's a good hitter.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a great hitter, but he's a good hitter. He is an elite catcher.
That helps.
Giving me some hope. Putting me right in the position that one of our guests was in a year ago. Roundtable time.
Camelot. It's only a model.
I am in no way getting Baltimore Orioles vibes from this Mets team. Still a little bit too veteran-y, to have that because the Orioles last year were primarily a bunch of kids who didn't really know better. But, man, Josh Graham, I know how excited you were last year when the Orioles arrived, probably earlier than they should have. They are still there. I don't know that the Mets have arrived, but it's been a good month of June. So I've got good baseball vibes, even though we're probably not going to talk about it. And Randy Slack. By the way, Josh Graham, Sports Hub Triad. You should go listen to him if you're driving around the Triad out there. And Randy Slack, ESPN Wilmington, my friend. You're a Reds fan, are you not, Randy?
I am a Reds fan, and I'm hoping that we get Mayor McCheese to throw out the first pitch so we can go on a run here after the All-Star break.
Oh, the Mets made the Yankees grimace in that 2-game Subway Series sweep. All right, let's get down to business. Tonight is the NHL draft. We're done with the NBA draft. I can guarantee that no Duke hockey players will fall out of the first round tonight. We'll get to Kyle Filipowski and maybe Jared McCain in a minute. All right, Randy, you're a hockey guy. Let me start with you. Jake Gensel, sign him or keep Martin Necas. What are you doing?
I like keeping Jake Gensel. Maybe it's just because I'm a little biased when I was in Pittsburgh, but I like Jake. He's got the playoff experience. I think he played really well on the top line. I think maybe you can get some other assets potentially for Marty. So, yeah, I'm pro team Jake Gensel. And, again, we've seen what we've seen from this team. It's a lot of young guys, but I think shaking it up and keeping a guy like Jake who hasn't been here the whole time is maybe a good thing.
I mean, I agree. Josh, I know you don't get a chance to come as much because you're busy like covering every ACC basketball ever been created, every ACC basketball game ever been created. But your thoughts, even from, 62 miles?
It's not the sexy answer. It's not the, let me just pick one side without hedging it at all. But obviously, when you're talking about having 9 impending free agents, it depends on the price. And Marty Necas is 3-4 years younger than Jake Gensel is. And if he comes a lot cheaper than Jake Gensel as well, whether it's hometown discount or RFA versus UFA, and that allows for you the chance to keep an extra player that you wouldn't be able to keep otherwise because Gensel would be more expensive, then I'd probably say take the younger player entering his athletic prime that you kind of know what he is and understands your culture more than Jake Gensel does. So it's obviously couched with it depends on the price, but if all things were equal, yes, you'd want to keep Jake Gensel from a production standpoint more than Marty Necas.
Yeah, Gensel, who, by the way, in his time with the Hurricanes, the numbers are kind of eye-poppingly gaudy, right? Now, I'm not for just so people understand, I am not suggesting that playing with Sebastian Aho was better for Jake Gensel than playing with Sidney Crosby, because that would be fundamentally silly. But they did click. They got in an offensive run. It kind of went away a little bit in the playoffs, but I'm not sure I blame Aho and Gensel as much as they did get Igor Shesterkin, and because to me that was the difference in the series. It wasn't really the Rangers' power play. Game 1, yes, but for the most part, the Hurricanes lost to the Rangers because Igor Shesterkin played at the supreme level, and Frederik Andersen played, well, let's just say at something short of a supreme level. Like the 20-piece McNuggets versus a kitty McNuggets. We'll just do that since I'm still thinking about the Mets. Price is important as well.
What's your go-to sauce, by the way?
Say again?
Ooh.
My go-to
sauce.
Your go-to sauce on the nugget.
Oh, the Polynesian, whatever it's called.
Wow.
Yeah, sweet and sour. Sweet and sour sauce. Is that even a debate? I got no time for McDonald's barbecue sauce.
I agree. 100%.
Debates, not to get political.
Look, it was a tough night. It was a tough night for the United States in Atlanta last night. I just want that said. I want that said. We're going to talk about 2-1 Panama before we get out of here. What's your go-to sauce, Graham?
The buffalo sauce is underrated.
They have that? No, I didn't know they had that at McDonald's.
Yes, a lot of people don't know. Everyone knows about the sweet and sour, maybe even know about the barbecue. The buffalo with the barbecue, if you were to dip in both at the same time, it mixes together pretty well. Just a little bit of a cheat code for you.
I like that. Little hidden menu there. All right, Bronny James, drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers. Josh, is nepotism running amok in our society?
No. Yes, it kind of is.
Of
but
course it is. That doesn't mean this is bad.
Okay. But that's not really what the story is here, though. Yes, nepotism is across society. But in this story, it's LeBron James running amok of the Los Angeles Lakers and trampling all over them because he clearly, it's not based on merit that he was drafted 55 overall, averaged about 5 points per game. There's obviously the medical concerns based on the cardiac issue from last year as well. So it's not based on merit that this happens, of course. It's because LeBron James, with the help of Rich Paul too, apparently threatening other teams not to draft him, that this happens. But it's obvious that LeBron he handpicked his head coach too. Or are we just led to believe that the one man on earth that LeBron handpicked to be his podcast co-host is now the head coach of the Lakers, just turned out to be the best candidate in J.J. Redick? This reeks of the end of Kobe Bryant's playing years with the Lakers, where things were terrible and the Lakers were this family-run business kind of that just said, all right, we love Kobe, so we're just going to let Kobe have his way. And it's going to be a spectacle, but it's going to be hollow. Kobe had the 60 points, and everyone remembers that. But what people kind of forget is, they missed the playoffs, and Kobe took 50 shots in that game. So LeBron's going to play with his kid, but the details of how LeBron's kid ended up being drafted by the Lakers makes it a little bit more hollow and less merit-based than some of the other examples of sports where we've seen, a son and a father playing in the same sport and playing in the same league.
I want Randy to respond to this before I point out some things.
See, the thing is the beauty of sports is ball don't lie. You can have nepotism in a lot of different jobs, and a guy can get a job at a company because of his dad or whatever. And Bronny gets
Tommy
to
boy
play for the Lakers. Yeah, he gets to play. But we're going to find out if he can actually do it. Eventually, it doesn't matter who your dad is. If you stink, you stink. I'm not rooting against the guy. I kind of feel bad for him. He's in like a no-win situation of, hey, your dad's the most powerful dude in his sport, and he wants to play with his son. So guess what? You're immediately going to be on an NBA roster before you're ready. By the way, he's 6'1" and not really that fast. That's tough to be that small and not the quickest dude on the floor. So good luck, Bronny, but nepotism's real, and I mean, LeBron gets what he wants, and quite frankly, that's all we really care for, right?
I'm Team LeBron. If LeBron wants it, I'm okay with it. I would just point this out. He was the 55th player selected. He wasn't the 15th player selected. There were only 3 players selected after him. We are not at this point sifting through future All-NBA players. So the scouting reports...
Probably not.
Right? The scouting reports on players drafted in this area are not, man, I can't believe this guy was still there at 55. But he's got some good qualities. Respectable NBA draft scouts think that were it not for the heart condition, which is a real thing, which he has been medically cleared and played the season, that he would have been much further along at USC. That set him back. And he did impress at the NBA Combine. He was one of the most impressive players there. I'm not suggesting that the Lakers had to draft him at 55. I'm not sure anybody was going to draft him. The Lakers take him at 55, maybe to keep Dad happy. I have zero problem with that. He will fail or succeed on his own merits. And if it doesn't work, I mean, J.J. Redick's not a dope. He's just not LeBron's coach. He's going to be he wants to be the coach of the Lakers after LeBron. So he ain't going to put Bronny on the court if Bronny can't help them ultimately win. So,
you sure about that?
Unless JJ doesn't want to be the coach anymore. I mean, I'm just assuming that JJ Redick would like to coach more than a year.
Sure, but if LeBron thinks his son isn't developing because he's not getting enough playing time, then
that's why the Lakers have a G League team.
he's not going to the G League. I didn't think Rich Paul wanted him to. I thought Brownie was above that kind of nonsense to go down to the developmental league.
He's gonna play wherever he can develop as a player. I think it would be absolutely foolish, and I don't think that JJ would do it, to use the Lakers as a developmental program. It's not the academy team, right? It's just not the academy team. So I just thought, now maybe I'm naive about this, but I don't see that happening. All right, let's get to it. I'll go back to you, Randy. Panama 2, USA 1. Explain.
Well, Greg Berhalter stinks. He's not a good coach. We learned this at the World Cup, but yet they did a search, and I guess, nobody at Team USA had a podcast with anybody they liked, so they couldn't hire a podcaster to be their next head coach.
But they did hire the brother of somebody on the committee.
That is true. It's absolutely embarrassing that a team with this much talent and this much money and this much resources is in the position they're in. There's no way, a man down even, there's no way that this team should have lost that game yesterday.
I agree. I thought I didn't like the tactics after going a man down, and of course they still took the lead after going a man down. Good, great goal from Flo Balogun. He's had a pretty good. I actually didn't like his first match. I liked him much better in the match last night. But then they go a man down. Josh, felony conviction for Greg Berhalter, or just maybe loss of employment if the United States doesn't escape the group?
It's a great question. I'm disappointed in Jake Tapper and Dana Bash for not bringing it up last night. I think that certainly is something that should have been
I missed
brought up.
that. I was doing a Canes podcast, so I missed whatever else happened in the post-game show in Atlanta.
Yeah, if it were tonight, I'm sure Kyle Filipowski would have came up. But anyway, do you know what stinks more than Greg Berhalter? Replay VAR on non-scoring plays in the 18th minute. Like, I get it.
Oh, come on, it was a red card. You can't hit a guy in the back of the head.
But it was a yellow. It was a yellow card until we had to go to the side of the pitch.
That's fine. The referee, how he gave a yellow card without even seeing it is kind of amazing.
That's the other thing.
But your assistant referees are there to help you.
Sure, I was a referee, and often I was an assistant referee. I get it, but replay in sports, that's another thing where we're going to replay in the 18th minute when. This could have just been...
Of all the things to argue, you're arguing that Tim Weah shouldn't have been sent off?
No, Tim Weah definitely should have been sent off.
Then why are you complaining about it?
Why did we have to go to VAR to do this is my point. I'm saying, hey, let's send him off without having to be here for 5 minutes before this thing gets...
that didn't take very long. It took a lot longer to sort out the non-penalty in the second half than it took to figure... I mean... the referee, whatever his name is, he went to the monitor for like 8 seconds and went, "Oh yeah, you're done."
Truthfully, though,
it took him longer to take the red card out of his pocket.
This is a very American soccer thing to happen at this point, and I feel like American soccer fans have this PTSD where anytime you're in a match of consequence and you're expecting something good to happen, it's the shades of Taylor Twellman losing his mind when they didn't qualify for the World Cup in 2018, or if you think you're safe with the U.S. women's national team with them playing in Paris next month, let's not forget what happened with the Women's World Cup the last time out where things were less than awesome. And
yeah, they weren't good. But that's just they weren't good. They were hurt and not good.
And now we're supposed to believe that good things are going to happen against Uruguay when you need to advance.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
That's the part where, oddly enough, there are pre-March of 2024 NC State vibes to U.S. when you most expect good things to happen. Weah gets sent off and the U.S. loses to Panama, but when they least expect good things, like Uruguay coming up, maybe that's when the United States strikes, and Greg Berhalter isn't so bad the next time we speak.
2-1 USA on Monday. I can't wait for it. Josh Graham. At Josh Graham Radio. I don't really believe that. And at rslack37 on Twitter, Randy Slack, ESPN Wilmington, Josh Graham, Sports Hub Triad. Thank you very much, fellas. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Always a fun time. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, seriously, felony conviction or just Greg Berhalter loses his job? Look, in all fairness, I'm not really anti-Greg Berhalter at all. I'm sort of, would I have hired him? No. But I don't think really USA Soccer, or it's U.S. Soccer. I don't first of all, the process is corrupt. I wasn't kidding. Berhalter got the gig the first time, probably because Bro is part of the process. And the second time, he was really brought back because the players like him. I kid you not. Players really do. So this was more, he has created a culture. It's a culture where people desperately want to be part of that team, and they like him. I hate the way their team plays. I love a lot of the players. They have structural issues when it comes to the way they play. They're not, I will say this, they're risk averse. I would like to see a team that is willing to take a few more chances. Of course, they're not good at center back, and they're basically mediocre to worse at goalkeeper now, especially if Matt Turner is hurt. I think Turner is mediocre at best. I mean, if you lose your job twice at Nottingham Forest, that pretty much tells us, I mean, it's still a Premier League side, but, you know, he's not in the top 30 percentile of goalkeepers in the world. So that tells us a lot. Anyway, I would like to see us be a little bit more offensively expressive, but that's not Greg Berhalter's style. And that's my problem with Greg Berhalter. But it's better than being Gareth Southgate. We'll talk about that with Jessica Sharman coming up next hour. We'll take a break, we'll stretch, and we will place bets next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And even as the playoffs wind down in basketball and hockey, there's still stuff worth wagering on if you are so inclined. And FanDuel wants to give you incentive to just keep a little skin in the game. Open up the app and enjoy all summer long. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There is something for everyone every day all summer long. Go to FanDuel.com/AGS, FanDuel.com/AGS, and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 or older and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Wager requirements apply. Bonuses awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets or profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including bonus expiration. See terms and conditions at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Virtual healthcare is changing the way that traditional medicine is being delivered. Ironically, treating some people from afar is actually increasing access to medical health. Dr. Matt Anderson is with Charlotte-based Advocate Health, a member of the North Carolina Healthcare Association. He says telehealth is enhancing the ability of doctors and nurses to treat more people in better ways.
What we've really tried to do is build out that infrastructure from a virtual standpoint to enable us to better impact the health of our communities in a more convenient, simple, and easy way.
Learn how telehealth methodologies are not only saving people money, but how virtual medicine is transforming lives and the health of our communities. I'm Christine Bellino. Join me and my guest, Dr. Matt Anderson, for the latest edition of Conversations on the State of Healthcare, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association. And for more information, listen to our podcasts on the North Carolina News Network and visit nchealthcare.org.
You wouldn't ask your mechanic to help stage your property for an open house. As NC Realtors, we're experts who make buying or selling property easier for you. Using the latest technology and armed with local insights, our Realtors help you find properties you would want to call home. We also know which details make your property more attractive to other buyers. from start to finish. Our Realtors know. Find out more at ncrealtorsknow.com.
The North Carolina Zoo in Asheboro is excited to announce that the Canine Champions for Conservation is back for a second year. This guest favorite experience features rescue dogs performing thrilling agility challenges to raise awareness and support for wildlife conservation efforts. Shows run now through Labor Day weekend and are free with entry to the North Carolina Zoo. To learn more about this tail-wagging experience and other zoo-related activities, visit nczoo.org. Plan your next zoo adventure today.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Our public power providers in North Carolina keep the power on 99.9% of the time. That averages out to be less than 1 hour a year without power. Public power line workers who work day and night, rain or shine, are key to that unbeaten reliability. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
Investing in primary care makes sense. Without additional investment in family medicine and primary care, the foundation of our healthcare system is at risk, leading to higher costs and lower quality care. By improving access to primary care, costs are lower, quality is higher, and death rates from cancer, heart disease, and strokes go down. It's time for North Carolina to invest in primary care. To learn more, go to primarycarenc.org. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina Academy of Family Physicians.
This is Adam Gold.
I got news for you. If I see a hammerhead shark swimming near me open water,
nope,
we're gone.
Bye.
We're done. I'll be on the dock.
I'm done. I've seen Jaws. You can't fool me.
Yeah, I'll be on the dock.
Yeah.
I'll be, or in the boat or something. I will not be.
Yeah.
I will not be in open water.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold, Victoria, producing the program. We're going to place bets in just a couple of seconds. Maybe we'll have a special guest coming up next hour. Jessica Sharman, analyst, Charlotte FC. Also, she's on Sirius XM tonight for summer soccer evenings. So we'll talk to her about the Americans' poor result in Atlanta last night, and also, is there any hope for England? So we'll see about that. Anyway, it's time to stretch.
Okay, so there is so much going on, and I have to inform the people. So, tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, the Summer Olympic trials begin. I love the Summer Olympics. I think they're my favorite. Also, the NHL draft starts tonight at 8 p.m. And fun little facts, anyone like me who likes Rob Dyrdek, he used to do Robin Big. He has all this like ridiculousness, all that good stuff. He turns 50 today. It's crazy.
Derek Jeter just turned 50 2 days ago.
I know. Rob's a
that
couple.
kind of hurt me.
This one hurts me. And John Elway is turning 64 today. They share a birthday.
John Elway?
Yes.
How many? 64?
64 today.
Good.
And last but not least, on this day, 27 years ago in 1997, you might remember a boxer was hungry during his match. Yes, Mike Tyson taking the bite out of the ear. That was 27 years ago today.
I remember watching that and going, wait. What did I just see?
He did just do that. Yes.
And to this day, when I think about what Mike Tyson did, it makes me like queasy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine the feeling of biting through somebody's flesh.
Yeah, and it's an ear cartilage. Like, yeah, that's the worst part because I mean, some people don't like certain foods because of texture, but you're gonna do okay.
It's a texture thing. It's not a taste thing. It's a texture thing.
Yeah.
It's like my dislike of coconut is really about texture. The shredded Coke, I hate it.
Exactly.
Right? But the flavor of coconut is fine.
Yeah, right.
The texture of coconut. I'm sorry, I'm having a problem now that you just made me laugh, though.
Well, he apparently liked the taste of Evander Holyfield's ear because it wasn't only one time. It was actually twice. That was, he did it 2 times, and the second time was the one that he was immediately disqualified. They took his...
Yeah, you do that again, mister.
Yeah, see what happens.
Don't make me come back there.
He took his, I'll make you eat coconut.
So bad.
His boxing license was revoked. 2 years later, they went on Oprah, the mender of all things. She had Mike and Evander, where Mike gave an apology. Yeah, so there's that. Still bit his ear, though. Now, one other thing I can't believe. I saw a picture of this, or a video, I guess I should say, of this. There was a massive sinkhole on a soccer field in Illinois on Wednesday. And you'll have to Google this because obviously I can't show you. There wasn't one in
Atlanta last night?
Yeah, but it was on a soccer field. Made me think of you. That's why I'm talking about this story. However, this field was built back in 2019 on top of a limestone mine.
Interesting.
So, yeah, choices. But the hole is about 100 feet wide and 30 to 50 feet deep. So, terrifying to think that anyone would have been on that field at the same time, but they were not, thankfully. So, no problems there. Also, this is funny that you guys were talking about the dip sauces for chicken nuggets that you like. Well, there may be a new one for your chicken nuggets.
Oh, wow.
5-Hour Energy. ... 5-Hour Energy is debuting a caffeinated barbecue sauce.
What?
So what they're doing...
Okay, wait a second. All right, I can get with that.
Right?
Fine.
Maybe you need to pick me up for your lunch or something. I don't know. Maybe that's where they're going with it. So 5-Hour Energy just unveiled this product for the summer. It does have caffeine. Now, they're not planning as of right now to sell any of it, but they are giving away 12-ounce bottles through their website. So yesterday was the first drop. They sold out completely, which if they're not selling it, I don't know why they say sold out verbiage, but I guess they gave away all of them. They're doing this 3 more times, July 2nd, the 9th, and 16th. So if you really, really, really want to try it, those are the days, next 3 Tuesdays. And it's only coming in a peach mango flavor. So peach mango barbecue caffeine. Okay. And now, don't think that this is going to get you jacked because each serving has 60 milligrams of caffeine, which they are comparing that to a weak cup of coffee. The average has about 95, so, it's only got 60. Now, this company, 5-Hour Energy, said, quote, they are trying to redefine what 5-Hour Energy is and can be. They're excited to be the first energy brand to offer a, quote, caffeinated sauce that helps you stay focused.
Nice. Good.
So, yeah, there you go if you're interested.
Starbucks should do that.
Yeah.
Why hasn't Starbucks... They do ice cream. Have you ever had Starbucks ice cream?
No.
If you can find Starbucks Java chip ice cream...
Yeah. I have not had that.
Thank me later.
They sell that in stores?
I have no... I've had it.
Oh,
It is next level.
Interesting. Interesting. Well, and last but not least, if you have plans this weekend or don't have plans this weekend, but you want to spice up your relationship, you should maybe clean your house. Because there's a new survey that says...
Do I have to put on a maid's outfit? Because
well, that's up to Aileen. I don't know what she likes. So
fine.
You have to ask her that. Because this survey said about 70% of people find it attractive when your partner cleans up the house. So there you go.
I wonder who said that.
I don't know. I don't know who's conducting these surveys. I'm just delivering the message, trying to help people.
I am not the most handy person, okay?
Yeah?
I'm not. It's not my thing. I grew up in an area where something broke, we called somebody.
Right.
Right? Because I don't generally do that. But I do own a drill, and I do things like that occasionally.
Progress.
And when I do those things, my wife is like, oh, man, that was awesome.
Look at you
So
go.
maybe if I put on a maid's outfit
yeah,
and vacuum the hallway,
Exactly. Done deal. Or a belt, like a hardware.
I'll see you later.
Home Depot. You could get a Home Depot apron and just be like, look, I can do all the things. I don't know. So, yeah. If you're looking for a different approach, there you go. Just be productive around the house. Or maybe you could win a bunch of money with some bets.
Hope so.
Place your bets. Do ya? I bet you slice into the woods $100. Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slice. Yeah. Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, let's do this. There's like not a lot going on right now.
Oh, gosh, there's so much going on for me this
Is
weekend.
there? You have UFC.
Yes,
All right.
a huge UFC fight. Also, where the NHL draft is going to be in the Sphere. It's awesome. It's taking over everything. I cannot wait. And the first fight I'm talking about is a prelim fight between Michelle Waterson-Gomez and Jillian Robertson. This to me is hands down going to be Jillian's fight. I think it's going to go to the points because Michelle does like to put up a good fight, but I don't see her winning this one. So give me Jillian by the points, and that is plus 230.
All right, we're going to go to the WNBA. This is a game tomorrow. The Las Vegas Aces are on fire. Chelsea Gray is back at point guard. She will be part of the U.S. Women's Olympic team, which was really the last chance, I guess, we had to see Caitlin Clark get shoehorned onto the team if Chelsea Gray, who hadn't played until the last five games. But she's back. Vegas is 4-1 since she's returned. They have been taking names and kicking tail, but they're losing at the Washington Mystics tomorrow. Give me the Mystics outright on the money line at plus 540.
Ooh, that's a good number.
Yeah.
Next up, I'm excited for this one.
Good thing nobody's paying attention.
Ian Gary versus Michael Page. Ian Gary just posted the cutest little video that I posted on my Twitter page or X or whatever it's called. And his kid was like imitating other fighters. It's adorable. But I think Ian Gary's going to win this fight against Michael Page. He's undefeated and he's amazing. So give me Gary by knockout plus 460.
All right. The knockout round, the round of 16 of the Euros start tomorrow. The second match is Germany, the host nation, taking on Denmark. This is gonna hurt. Denmark upset plus 290.
Oh, no. It sounds like it's going to hurt. Okay, my last one. Got to go with the main event. Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka. Oh, I can't wait for this. Samurai Yuri. Yuri Prochazka, the Yuri guy.
I thought we had ayahuasca for some reason.
He might do ayahuasca. He's kind of a little out there. This is a rematch, and this is going to be amazing since Conor McGregor is, quote, injured. I'm still using quotes, quote, injured. So now this is our new main event. This is a rematch. I think Yuri's going to come out with a win here. He is an underdog, and when he's an underdog, he's like, come at me, bro. So Yuri to win, just straight up, plus 120.
All right, I'm going to give you a dark horse run to the semifinals.
I like them.
I'm sorry, to the finals of the Euro. The way I've watched enough of this. Spain looks like the best side, right? They're in the top half of the bracket. In the bottom half is Austria. They're very impressive. Spain over Austria in the final. I know it's not sexy, but I think there's a lot of value there. Austria to make it to the finals of the Euro, plus 700. Now, the U.S. doesn't play until Monday, so that'll feature in Monday's Place Your Bet, so we don't have to get to that. But, Austria plus 700 to be the runner-up at the European Football Championships. When we come back, we'll do a wall of sound, and in the wall of sound, we have Greg Cosell, quarterback guru, if you will, on Bryce Young. Got to hear it next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
It's the summer of soccer.
Federski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Hit the line by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He just sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch, he scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Did somebody say free diamond bracelet? That's right. Diamonds Direct is expanding upon their best offer yet. Make any purchase this month and receive a free diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right. Any engagement ring, any diamond necklace, any timepiece. Purchase any item valued at $10,000 or more and receive a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Every purchase of $10,000 or more qualifies. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet ends June 30th. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Rise and shine, honey. We don't want to miss our flight.
Our flight is in 7 hours. And we have TSA PreCheck with our Navy Federal flagship credit card.
TSA PreCheck. Getting my bugle through security will be so much easier now.
Learn how you can earn up to 3 times points on travel with the flagship credit card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Welcoming you back to appointment day at the Martinez house. Raul Martinez looking stressed about scheduling a colon cancer screening. But he just pledged to get screened.
Stand Up to Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
Get ready for a night full of big fights and big action. It's UFC 303 and it can be even bigger. Jump in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. The light heavyweight title is on the line in the main event, but there are so many more amazing matchups happening in Vegas. Money lines, parlays, props, live bets, and so much more. The betting options feel endless on DraftKings. And speaking of amazing, if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD. That's TIMD with no spaces for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Get that big fight feel only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at dkng.co/MMA.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback! Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
NBA teams are talking about the fact that they had question marks about his girlfriend being so much older than him. You know, why was he estranged from his family, his parents or his brother? And it's a very, very odd situation. I personally don't understand why it would cause him to drop like this into the second round. There are no question marks about his character, but NBA teams are talking about his nerves and his workouts weren't great. And when they asked him about this situation in interviews, the answers they got weren't satisfactory for them.
I'm not sure who that was, but the fact that your girlfriend is 8 years older than you
and a follower of the Latter-day Saints. I don't know if that's probably the wrong way of terming that. I can't see how that causes you to drop into the second round. I can't make that connection. I can't do that leap that so many people think matters. But fact, Kyle Filipowski going into the draft, let's just roll the clock back, I don't know, 2 months, the end of the season, right? For Duke, late March, when we first start seeing, well, we don't first start seeing them, but we get our postseason NBA draft boards. Kyle Filipowski was probably in the middle of the first round. And normally, if you are a first rounder, even if you're not, high lottery, it's tough for you to not be a first rounder at the end of the first round. Well, he was going to be the 13th player selected. Now he's a 22nd player. Oh, he fell like a stone. I mean, we're talking about falling all the way out of the first round. But without delving into, real silliness, somebody's personal life, we have no indication whether or not he's a bad teammate or not. I don't think he was. The real reason why Kyle Filipowski isn't or wasn't a first-round pick is because athletically, he doesn't separate himself. He has basketball skills. He was the 32nd player taken. So, the difference between him and a first-round pick was 2 picks, literally. He can shoot it, not to an awesome level. He just needs consistency. If he does that, he can be a high 30s three-point shooter. He's a good rebounder. He's not an amazing rebounder. He's an outstanding passer. I think he's a good help defender. But ultimately, he's not an elite athlete. That's why he wasn't a first-round pick, more than anything else. We don't have to lose our minds over the stuff that really doesn't matter, which is his girlfriend, who happens to be 28. I don't know. You can't help who you love. Right? You can't. You love who you love.
Age is just a number.
Truer words have never been spoken. All right, a rewind time.
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's get to Jake Gensel. Still no word on anything that the Hurricanes have done, only that Elliot Friedman, among others, have pointed out that the Hurricanes have sweetened their offer for Jake Gensel. I don't know. You can room by yourself on the road? I have no idea what they've done. Anyway, Gensel's got an asking price. Hurricanes getting closer to meeting it. Elliot Friedman from Sportsnet in Canada on the latest.
Carolina wants to get Gensel done before the draft. Really seriously. They've been aggressive, and they're attempting to do it. There are several teams who think it's going to get done. Nothing is done until it's done. I always say, young Merrick, but there are several teams who believe it's going to get done. One of the theories about Vancouver's decisions the other day, in terms of re-signing a lot of their own players, is that maybe there had been some intel out there that the Gensel situation was trending in that direction.
So and I put this on the podcast yesterday, the Canes Corner podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts, also available on YouTube. You can go right there now and watch what I did last night at 10 o'clock for 46 minutes. If the Hurricanes re-sign Jake Gensel, Martin Necas has to go. Seth Jarvis is also due a contract that's going to be in the Jake Gensel range. The only way that number is not in the same general vicinity of what Jake Gensel is going to get is if Jarvis does a 2-year bridge, in which case those numbers would likely be less. But at the same time, you're kicking the can down the road 2 years, and if and when Jarvis, as a point producer, exceeds everybody on the team, which I think could really happen, now you're going to pay a lot more. I would rather do Jarvis now for 8 years than wait. With all of that said, I do think that the real either-or is, which is why I asked it in the roundtable last hour, is Gensel or Natchez, who's getting that chunk of money. The Natchez number wouldn't be as high as Gensel, but it would be close. Can you get Gensel for 8 or below? I don't know. It's probably going to be a shade above it if the Hurricanes, my understanding is, are meeting his price. Probably means because that number is over 8. Gensel is a wonderful player, but he is 30. The Hurricanes, I'm having a hard time recognizing how they do business now. I don't know how it works. All right, now let's move on to the Carolina Panthers. We're going to take a break here in a couple minutes. But we all know last year was not a good one for Bryce Young, right?
Yes.
Right.
And company.
Right. But specific to the quarterback. So coming out of Alabama, here's what we knew. Tiny. Almost microscopic for a lot of people.
Right. How can anyone see him?
You need the Hubble telescope.
Yes.
Right?
He has to carry a stool with him everywhere.
Everywhere. Phone books.
Yeah.
In the huddle.
Right.
He needs phone books in the huddle. So he's got a good arm, but not a great arm. Certainly has more than adequate arm to play quarterback in the league. But the real advantage that Young had was his ability to read, assess, and be calm. Never looked rushed. And I would argue, in many ways, that was still the case last year. His demeanor is just very calm. I don't know if it's confidence-inducing at this point, because you need some success behind it. But the cerebral part of the game is not his issue. Greg Cosell, who is a great NFL tape evaluator, was on the Ross Tucker podcast. Ross Tucker, friend of this program, by the way. And Cosell was asked if he still believes in Young.
I don't think we know the answer to that, and I think it'd be unfair to make a strong judgment one way or the other. I think because of his size and because of the fact that he does not have a big arm, there are limitations to his game, so he'd have to be a certain kind of quarterback, which theoretically he's capable of being because he's super intelligent and he understands things really well. But now you have to help him, and I think they understood that. Look, what did they do on the offensive line? When you have shorter quarterbacks, what do they need more than anything? They need space in front of them. They need the more important part for a shorter quarterback are the interior offensive linemen, not the tackles. So what did they do? They paid Robert Hunt a ton of money to be their right guard. They paid Damian Lewis a good amount of money to be their left guard. You have to fortify the depth of the pocket. The depth of the pocket is more important than the width of the pocket. I don't think we know the...
So that's Greg Cosell. Yeah, I think all of those things are true. We'll be able to evaluate Bryce Young based on how well his offensive line plays and the quality of his receiving core. Do you trust Dave Canales to get the most out of this group? I think most people are hopeful that it will happen. So we're going to wait and see how it does happen. Very quickly before we go, and I mentioned this earlier, Sunday ticket might be going away. The NFL hit with a $4 billion verdict against the NFL regarding Sunday ticket and exclusionary practices. Kevin Seifert for the NFL Network on the demise, potentially.
I mean, it's really one of the most significant and biggest legal judgments the NFL has been involved in its modern history. And not just for the financial reasons. You mentioned the $4 billion and the $96 million. Well, that gets tripled according to antitrust laws. So you're really talking about over $12 billion that could be paid in damages. They've been at this for 9 years. And not only will they have to pay that money, but they would also have to potentially really change the way they distribute games to fans, whether it's on TV, streaming, or even cable. And so that'll all potentially lead to the end of the Sunday ticket as we know it, if it all holds up.
I mean, if you have been, like, I've done enough reading on this, always struck me as odd that the NFL was artificially limiting the market. I mean, you do that a lot with price, which is kind of what they did. But basically, it was a deal with the affiliates to keep direct Sunday ticket and their distribution to about 10% of available homes. That was their goal. Intentionally, which doesn't make a great deal of sense. By the way, Kevin Seifers with ESPN. When we come back, USA lost to Panama 2-1 yesterday. It sets up essentially a win or go home against Uruguay on Monday. England is a mess. Jessica Sharman, analyst, Charlotte FC on the radio, is going to join us next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
99.9 The Fan and Arise Urology Clinic present Men's Health Month. Smoking causes cancer, heart disease, a greater risk of stroke, and increased risk of erectile dysfunction. Start your winning streak now and commit to quit. You'll fix your organs, get your looks back, and end the smoker's cough. The long-term benefits lower the chance of death and decrease your danger to your body for your future. Men's Health Month is powered by Arise. Call Arise Urology Clinic for Men at 919-964-3750 or visit CoreWaveTherapy.com.
Hank Bauer, Chairman, ABC Commission. And we're here to talk about Talk It Out NC. Now, I know you guys do regular statewide surveys. What have you gathered from the surveys?
Very excited about the decrease in underage drinking. That has opened our eyes. But then also, too, just the fact that we had to go younger. You know, this program, we were starting out in high schools trying to get to that age.
Right.
And then to see the stats that it's actually younger than that. So now we're going to middle schools and elementary schools.
Wow. The website, talkitoutnc.org.
Attention talcum powder users. Have you had ovarian or gynecological cancer? A proposed $8 billion plan will pay those who believe they got sick from using talc products, like Johnson's Baby Powder and Shower to Shower. Johnson & Johnson maintains its products are safe. You have until July 26, 2024 to vote to accept or reject the plan. For more information, visit officialtalcclaims.com or call 888-431-4056. Paid for by LLT Management, LLC.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer Sales event when Dave, the sales guy, asks, "Want to test drive the Rogue?" And I'm like, "Let's go." We're driving when Dave says, "Check out the VC turbo engine." I hit the gas and whoosh. I'm like, "Okay, I wasn't expecting that." Dave goes, "If you think that's cool, watch this." Dave shows me the miles per gallon and I'm like, "Whoa, that's pretty impressive fuel economy." Dave mentions, "These new cars are going fast." And in that moment, I had to have that Rogue. Crazy, right?
Wait till you hear how I got my Sentra.
Get up to $1,000 July 4th bonus cash on select 2024 Rogue trims. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city, 34 highway to 30 city, 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. $1,000 July 4th bonus cash on 2024 Rogue Platinum. $500 July 4th bonus cash on 2024 Rogue SV and SL trims. Available on lease or purchase from new dealer stock. Contact dealer for details. N7824.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call.
If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
This is Adam Gold.
That answer fails on so many levels. Part of me wants to start the answer again and then stop it after each time. Is that a good idea, Victoria?
No.
That's great. Did you do that on purpose?
I did.
You did? All right. At the end, that was brilliant.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Apparently, it's lit on the live stream at YouTube. You can always watch the show, youtube.com. Search Adam Gold Show, 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh. You can hear me talk about the Euros. You can hear me talk about Copa America. It was, as I said earlier, a very difficult evening for the United States of America in the city of Atlanta last night. U.S. falling to Panama 2-1, and I'm just talking about soccer. Jessica Sharman, analyst, Charlotte FC, does radio with our friend Will Pelagic. He was with us a week ago. I've missed you so much. Thank you very much for your time, Jessica. Appreciate it. Let's start with the U.S. Here was my bigger problem, really more post-match than anything else. Like, we can discuss a lot of things about the referees, but I just didn't think it was productive at all for Greg Berhalter to go out of his way to mention how poor the refereeing was in the match when the reason they lost was because Tim Weah lost his composure.
It's baffling to me hearing the criticism of that red card call. Maybe the referee had a few other moments, but I thought he got the big moments correct.
Yeah.
He gave the U.S. a red card for Tim Weah losing his marbles in a 40-plus caps he has for the U.S. Experienced players should know better than swinging a punch in the VAR era. You're not going to get away with that. He gives the correct red card to Panama to even things out, and he overrules the penalty. So I don't know how Greg Berhalter is really using this as a scapegoat right now when your team didn't perform. And listen, I know a lot of people are on the Greg Berhalter out train. Right. I also don't think he's the best manager in the world, and I think the U.S. will make a change if they don't get out of the group here with a result against Uruguay. But at some point, you have to look at the players on the pitch as well, and you have to think the players on the pitch didn't do their job, from Tim Weah losing his mind to the guys not having the correct mindset towards the end of the game of just managing the result. Get a tie. Clear the ball away. Don't give up the opportunities you allowed Panama back into the game with.
Jessica Sharman is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Jess Talks Footy. All right, here's the thing that bothered me about because you say just manage the game, get a tie. I actually I didn't like the way they were set up, and I didn't like once Panama equalized, 3 minutes after the U.S. went ahead 1-0. Once they equalized, I thought they decided at that point, you know what? We're just going to try to see this out 1-1. I thought they should have stayed front foot. Like, put your foot on the gas. It's Panama. It's not Portugal. They should have been able to at least been offensively effective. They had a couple of chances in the second half that didn't go. I just felt like they tried to get out of there 1-1 rather than go win the match.
Yeah, sounds a lot like England, right? Get a goal and then sit back and don't capitalize on the momentum and kill the game. So I understand your trauma in that. But for me, if you make the choice to go to a back five, okay. But if that's the mindset of your team, if you are going to go for a draw, you have to do everything in your power to go for that draw. And it felt like there was almost a mix in identity because they still tried to continue playing out the back. You see it with the second goal where Robinson kind of just passes it straight back to Panama and they break them down again with their phase of attacking play with a goal that I think the goalkeeper probably should have done a little better on.
Yeah.
And then the substitution for me, I thought Carter Vickers was one of the worst players on the pitch in that second half. It's not a pen. The guy dives, but what Carter Vickers is doing, diving in the penalty box in that manner, second time he did it, by the way, after getting nutmegged, almost gave away another penalty earlier on in the game. It's just disappointing. I don't think the quality of the players, based on this being a quote-unquote golden generation of the U.S. men's national team, I don't think they did enough on the pitch. But I wouldn't disagree with you, Adam, that tactically, probably a little bit negative. But in a tournament scenario, a draw would have been a great result because it would have set you up in a better scenario against Uruguay. Now you're playing probably the hottest team in the tournament. I know everyone's going to say it's Argentina, but Uruguay right now in better form, in dominant form, beating Bolivia 5-0. U.S. has to beat Uruguay to really stand a chance. That's a wild scenario to find yourself in.
They are hoping that Liverpool Darwin Nunez shows up and misses the frame on his requisite 6 scoring chances in the match. Jessica Sharman is joining us. When I look at the U.S. team, I see a massive deficiency in central defense. I think Tim Ream's been their best center back, and I don't think Tim Ream has necessarily covered himself in a lot of glory for the way. I mean, he's played okay, but Chris Richards has been no good unless giving away the ball a lot is a good thing. Carter Vickers has been no good. We haven't seen Miles Robinson at all. I think that the U.S. has not been good. They don't have a replacement for Serginho Dest at right back. Joe Scally's been at best okay, and I don't even think he's been that. And they can't get more than 45 minutes out of Tyler Adams. I think that just doesn't speak well for their ability to, even if they can get out of the group by beating Uruguay on Monday. It just doesn't speak well to win another match.
And now you're in the position where Matt Turner, that was a yellow card foul every single day of the week, goalkeeper union member here as a former goalkeeper. But to see Ethan Horvath come into goal, that doesn't set you up with great hope as well. He's a guy that hasn't played very many competitive minutes at this international level. And look, Matt Turner hasn't covered himself in glory completely. Look back to that Colombia friendly game with the huge defeat that the U.S. faced. But he's still more experienced than Horvath, and I still think he maybe gets a better hand on the shot that led to the Panama defeat. I think Miles Robinson deserves an opportunity to see what he can do. He was very good with Atlanta United during his tenure, obviously FC Cincinnati's starting centre-back as well. But Tim Ream, it's difficult because he is at that stage of his career now where he's got composure on the ball, but he's not going to beat you in a foot race, and that's why you need his other players defensively to stand up. My fear for the U.S. right now is you're setting up against a team that's scoring goals for fun right now in Uruguay, and our biggest question marks are around the back line. That doesn't feel like a match made in heaven.
All right, who would you rather be, Jessica Sharman? Would you rather be Greg Berhalter or Gareth Southgate, England's manager?
You couldn't pay me enough to be a manager. I mean, honestly, they might make some big money. They might make more than us broadcasters, but I'll tell you something, the pressure that comes with it. I mean, you're going to have to die on the hill that you make. But I think when you base, and I know both of these teams have been called a golden generation in some media outlets, I think for Gareth Southgate, there is far more of an issue right now if his team doesn't get further in this tournament when you look at the way the bracket is facing. And I think England has had the most underwhelming performances even than the US, because when you look at the way this England side should dominate in the games that it's played, it's just not been good enough for the English side.
No, it hasn't. And is it fair to say that some of the players that Southgate is almost obligated to start have been in some ways the biggest disappointments? Declan Rice hasn't played well. Jude Bellingham has not played well. I know Harry Kane has a goal, but I don't think Harry Kane has played all that well. And I think the way he plays, dropping sort of, kind of deep, has kind of gotten in the way of some of their more creative players.
Yeah, it's really funny because I think the US and England have some parallels there where you see big name stars and you think that they always have to start, or you see players that do really well with their club teams, but then they don't perform at the same level with their international team. I do think a lot of the issues with the players you've mentioned is that in Gareth Southgate's formation, they're not going to play as well as they do with their club team, with his negative football, with his inability to get a team to press high, to turn the ball over, to want to play the ball. It creates some issues for those club players who have a lot more fun playing in their tiki-taki soccer club ways. But I think you're right. I think he needs to make a brave decision right now when it comes to this, because now you're in the knockout stages. There is no room for improvement. And I think a player like Saka maybe becomes a scapegoat a little bit, because I don't think he's been terrible. But what you saw off of the bench from a Cole Palmer, what you saw off the bench even from an Anthony Gordon, was better. I mean, I'm so glad the Trent Alexander-Arnold experiment in the center park is over, because I felt bad for Trent. I think he's set up for failure again. And Gareth Southgate just doesn't inspire me as a manager that's getting the best out of a good bunch. You've got big names. Harry Kane, by the way, I think is playing like an injured man. I don't know. There hasn't been too much in the press released about it, but he's just a guy that's not carrying himself with the same confidence. But you look at the way the bracket is set up for England, and this is a tournament where you've got the easiest pathway to the final yet again, because the way that the drawing has gone, all of the good teams, all of the big names are on the other side of the bracket. And this is one where you're scratching your head just wishing you could get more out of this England side based on the talent on paper that you have.
Jessica Sharman, before we have to say goodbye, at Jess Talks Footy on Twitter, you say that the bracket is set up for England, and it really is. But isn't it also in some ways set up for Italy?
Yeah.
They're not that good, but they just seem to keep winning.
And they just have a way, don't they? They have a knack of making it happen. I mean, I've got trauma when it comes to Italy from last Euros, obviously, with the drag back from Giorgio Chiellini, who I'm actually going to get to speak to later on today on Sirius XM. I'm hosting, and I might have to ask him in that how he feels about that pullback and the fact that he robbed England. I'm not sure if I'll get in a little bit of trouble for that. But look, Italy's a team that knows how to grind out results. You saw it in the way that they were able to equalize right at the end of the game against Croatia. Thought they might be going out, and suddenly they're able to flip it around. They're a pesky side that defends well. So I don't know. As an English fan, it's always the way, isn't it? I think every time the odds are in our favor to win, that almost makes it worse. It rubs salt into the wounds. And I have a feeling that I'm going to be sharing a sad drink with fellow Americans as England goes crashing out in the next couple of weeks.
Who's going to win the Euro?
France. I go with France. I think it's another player. They're not playing great football at all, but they're a side with so much talent in their roster and so much quality. When you look at Mbappe, when you look at Griezmann, when you look at the quality they have on the pitch, I think they're a side that is going to find a way to break through results.
Jessica Sharman, at Jess Talks Footy on Twitter. Yes, I had written it down. You'll be on Sirius XM summer soccer evening starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Thank you very much. I will be listening as I take my son to practice.
Enjoy it, and good luck to your little boy. It's always fun to see them love the game.
You got it. Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate it. Jessica Sharman, at Jess Talks Footy on Twitter. We didn't even mention the fact that Charlotte FC is 4th in the East right now, playing very, very well. Next time, we'll talk a little MLS with her. When we come back, we hope to have a dignitary, the Honorable Mayor of Raleigh. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And even as the playoffs wind down in basketball and hockey, there's still stuff worth wagering on if you are so inclined. And FanDuel wants to give you incentive to just keep a little skin in the game. Open up the app and enjoy all summer long. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There is something for everyone every day all summer long. Go to FanDuel.com/AGS, FanDuel.com/AGS, and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 or older and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Wager requirements apply. Bonuses awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets or profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including bonus expiration. See terms and conditions at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, we like calling North Carolina home because being local matters. It's why in every county, we have agents whose hometown is your town. That means we're there when you need us most, with personal service you'd expect from a friend or neighbor. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Virtual healthcare is changing the way that traditional medicine is being delivered. Ironically, treating some people from afar is actually increasing access to medical health. Dr. Matt Anderson is with Charlotte-based Advocate Health, a member of the North Carolina Healthcare Association. He says telehealth is enhancing the ability of doctors and nurses to treat more people in better ways.
What we've really tried to do is build out that infrastructure from a virtual standpoint to enable us to better impact the health of our communities in a more convenient, simple, and easy way.
Learn how telehealth methodologies are not only saving people money, but how virtual medicine is transforming lives and the health of our communities. I'm Christine Bellino. Join me and my guest, Dr. Matt Anderson, for the latest edition of Conversations on the State of Healthcare, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association. And for more information, listen to our podcast on the North Carolina News Network and visit nchealthcare.org.
You wouldn't ask your mechanic to help stage your property for an open house. As NC Realtors, we're experts who make buying or selling property easier for you. Using the latest technology and armed with local insights, our Realtors help you find properties you would want to call home. We also know which details make your property more attractive to other buyers. From start to finish, our Realtors know. Find out more at ncrealtorsknow.com.
The North Carolina Zoo is celebrating 50 wild years in 2024. Voted top zoo in the nation, the North Carolina Zoo is centrally located in Asheboro. Bring your family for a day trip or a weekend excursion to connect with nature and make cherished memories. Discover towering giraffes, a herd of elephants, a crash of rhinos, and a flock of seabirds. Plus, ride an endangered species carousel and stroll through the exotic butterfly garden. Plan your next outdoor adventure at nczoo.org.
Everyone goes through tough times, and everyone can get through them, as long as they don't have to do it alone. Dial 988 if you need someone to talk to. Get what you need to get to a better place. Together, we'll find the care that works best for you. We're here 24/7. Call, text, or chat 988. 988. Let's get through it together. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
This is Adam Gold.
I had no idea John is a Cubs fan, too.
Yeah, I think that's a prerequisite to being the head coach at Duke. I made one comment about the Cubs to Mike Krzyzewski, goes back a while ago, talked about the pitching staff, and he goes, yeah, but I don't trust Victor Zambrano. I'm like, what?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. This is a Friday, and it is the first day of the NHL draft tonight. And it's like 7 o'clock, I believe, is when it starts. It's televised on ESPN. And the Hurricanes draft way late. It's like 27th. So don't tune in at 7 o'clock if you only want to hear what the Hurricanes do. Although, there are a fair amount of rumors flying around the sphere in Vegas that the Hurricanes are interested in doing two bits of business today. The first would be the signing of Jake Gensel, or re-signing Jake Gensel to an 8-year contract. And I do think that they are seriously making efforts. Let's pull up the Elliot Friedman clip. We're going to use that here real quick. This is Elliot Friedman of Sportsnet in Canada, who talks about the Hurricanes circling back and upping the offer to Jake Gensel.
Carolina wants to get Gensel done before the draft, really seriously. They've been aggressive, and they're attempting to do it. There are several teams who think it's going to get done. Nothing is done until it's done. I always say, young Merrick, but there are several teams who believe it's going to get done. One of the theories about Vancouver's decisions the other day in terms of re-signing a lot of their own players is that maybe there'd been some intel out there that the Gensel situation was trending in that direction.
Yeah, okay, so Vancouver was interested in Gensel. Nashville interested in Gensel. Chicago play alongside Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
And there are teams that are flush with cap room.
Oh, yeah. And that's one of them.
Chicago's one of them. San Jose, another team, flush with cap room. They were talking about, like, I don't see Gensel going there.
No.
Because you're going there to not win.
You're a one-man team.
Well, they're going to be.
they're
going to have Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah.
So they're going to have an elite level, rookie. But I mean, it's not that different from, although quality. Connor Bedard is a different level, I think, of rookie player.
Mm-hmm.
But same idea, right? So all of those things would definitely give him more money than he'd get here. Carolina has the luxury of offering the extra year. And that's what I think they were counting on that being a little bit of a selling point. But the real selling point for Jake Gensel is going to be the fit as a player. How did he fit in this locker room? How did he fit on the ice? And both of those were A-plus fits. If you look at the numbers that Gensel put up when he was here, it's otherworldly what he was able to do here. And because of that, guys want to be successful. He looks around the locker room. He sees the fact that the Hurricanes still have Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov and Seth Jarvis and Jacob Slavin. Playing for Rod Brindamore certainly does not suck. Gensel had 25 points and was a plus 16 in 17 games. I mean, the numbers were great. The playoffs weren't quite as good, but 4 goals, 9 points, 11 games for a team that could not beat the goaltender that the Rangers threw at him.
Exactly.
Right? So there was enough success from Gensel to feel like this is a place that he can be successful, the team can win, all of that. And I know people, I keep getting this, the window closed. There are a lot of free agents walking out the door. I assume Brady Shea. I assume Brett Pesce, and others. The longer this goes, in many ways, I'm assuming Jordan Martinook. And that bothers me. But at this point, I'm less optimistic that Martinook gets done, because I think when we get to Monday, July 1st, first day of free agency, the way I look at it, there are going to be players, there are going to be teams that are going to look at Martinook and what he can bring. The fact that he scored 14 goals last year takes away he doesn't score. He can, but he provides so much else that I think that teams can look at him and say, that's the element we need in our locker room on the ice to help us win a Stanley Cup. I wish the Hurricanes would look at him that way, because I think that's true. But they might not be looking at it that way, to the tune of 4 years, $12 million. And I actually think that's what Jordan's going to get, maybe even a shade more on the open market. Remember, when you go sign somebody else's free agents, the numbers go up. You can get your own free agents for maybe a little less. I think the Hurricanes will pay less per year for Jake Gensel than other teams would have to. So, but people are under the impression, well, the Hurricanes' window is closed. All depends on how much you trust the head coach. All depends on how much you value the core players that they've got. I said this last night on the podcast. The real improvement in this team next year will be in 2 areas. It will be another step forward for Sebastian Aho to become maybe even a little bit more productive offensively, and Jake Gensel helps that if Jake Gensel comes back. And at some point, Andrei Svechnikov becomes that guy. We can talk around this all day long, but it's time for Andrei to be the point per game guy that we all think he is, that the organization thinks he is. If that's the case, then you've got Aho, you've got Svech, you've got Jarvis, potentially you have Gensel. which means you have 4 of those. And then you can fit around them the right core of players to enhance your ability to win. No team in the league needs 3 big-time scoring lines. You don't need it. You got to have 2, and you got to have a style that begets winning, and the Hurricanes have that. So, with all that said, again, all of my thoughts on free agents that they're either going to bring back or won't. I still think that it's possible that Teuvo Teravainen comes back. I don't think it's going to be that expensive. It really depends on whether or not the Hurricanes trust that Teravainen will be a great player for the next. I don't think that contract is longer than 3 years, by the way. The last couple of years, I know Turbo, I think, put up 25 goals this year. He had a bunch of those goals in the first week and a half of the season.
Yeah.
I think he had 9 goals in the first, 10 or 11 games.
Hot spell.
So, yeah. And he's really good. Nobody's knocking Teuvo Teravainen as a player. But I think at this stage of his career, he's not going to play on the top line with Aho. Because I think if Gensel comes back, it's Gensel, Aho, Jarvis, we're done. Maybe they find a big body, honestly, to go there. And either Jarvis or Gensel, probably not Gensel. Gensel's going to play with Aho is my guess. Maybe Jarvis drops down to play with Svechnikov. I don't know who that second center would be. Jack Drury. I said it last year. I don't see Jack Drury as a number 2 center on a team truly bidding to win a Stanley Cup. So I think you got to get something in there. But they're going to have enough big-time offensive players. They need Andre to become that. Not just the potential, but the production. And the other piece to this is if you can re-sign Jake Gensel, it then allows you the freedom to maybe not demand a bona fide top 6 forward or a top 4 defenseman in return for Natchez. It allows you to maybe take a chance. So, I don't know what you could get from Buffalo. Buffalo is offering the 4th overall pick plus something else. You're not trading Natchez for just 1 draft pick. So, and I don't think they're going to get only futures. I think it's a pick and a player that you can use. You've got the potential for Martin Natchez. You've got, to get a draft pick and a player from Buffalo. You can do the same with Columbus. Actually, Columbus has the 4th pick. Buffalo has the 11th pick. There's been mention that the Devils are interested in Natchez and offering the 10th overall pick and something else. So they're going to have some options. I don't think, and I said this before, and we don't have to get too deep into the weeds on this. If they sign Gensel, they won't have Natchez. If they don't sign Gensel, I think they are more inclined to have Natchez on the roster when training camp rolls around. It'd be hard for me to close my eyes unless another player enters the picture where they have neither Gensel nor Natchez. Because now you're talking about 3 offensive players in Aho, Jarvis, Svechnikov. And I think you want to cover yourself to get at least 1, maybe 2 more. And who knows how many young players will be part of this team next year. Who knows if whether Jackson Blake or Bradley Nadeau, who were both up here at the end of last season and played in a game or 2, who knows if those 2 players have a chance to make this team. They're not going to play on a 4th line, so they're going to have to play in a different line, a more featured line, but we'll see what happens. We know Nadeau is more of an offensive player. So is Blake, but Nadeau's got the shot. Blake is a more, I guess, a playmaking sort of a player, but Nadeau's got the shot. So tonight is the night that they're going to hopefully start this process. As Elliot Friedman says, they want to have all this done before the draft. They definitely went back to Jake Gensel with an improved offer. I've been told that it might even approach $9 million per year. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's rewind. So we started today with a conversation with Philip Isley, who is the chairman of the Centennial Authority. In case you missed the news, and it's not like we covered it extensively yesterday, we did talk about it. Brian Murphy from WRALSportsFan.com, he's a sports investigative reporter for WRAL. He came on and we talked about the document that was signed yesterday that sets into motion the renovation of the arena, PNC Arena, and also the development of that, whatever we're going to call it, arena district. We could. Whatever. Call it what you can call it, Mazatlan. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. So we talked about it yesterday. Today, we got into it with Philip Isley. Again, he hasn't been the chairman of the Centennial Authority for very long. It's only been, I think, a couple of years. Maybe not even 2 full years. But they got this done. And to me, along the way, there are mile markers. And I asked Philip Isley, what does this mile marker signify for Raleigh?
Well, it finally gets us to where everyone thought we would be, 25 years ago.
Right.
That once the arena was built, there would be a mixed-use development around the arena. It would be great. It would jumpstart West Raleigh development, and that never happened. So for Raleigh in particular, it really puts this area on the map with respect to the entertainment district that I know that Tom Dundon wants to create around the arena. But more importantly, especially for Raleigh, it puts in additional food and beverage opportunities, retail opportunities, probably 2 hotels, and then most importantly, the residential component has an AMI of 80% for a percentage of all the housing that goes up there for the next 20 years. Actually, it's probably longer than that. But that was a big deal to the city council to get our approval last year. And the term sheet had some wiggle room in there with commercially reasonable efforts. And we were able to negotiate a guarantee in these documents that it's going to happen. So there will be, I think it's 10% of the units constructed will have at a 80% AMI workforce housing, which for a family of 4 in Wake County now is in the $90,000 range.
All right, let me just take a quick break away from the rewind, just to bring up a couple of things about the NHL since the draft is coming up. I want to get back to Philip Isley here in a second. The Flyers bought out Cam Atkinson today. Yesterday or the day before, the Dallas Stars bought out defenseman Ryan Suter. He has now been bought out by 2 different teams in the last 3 years. It's a lot of money. Like, a lot of money. The Minnesota Wild are paying like almost $8 million in the buyout for this upcoming season, and I think it's the 3rd year of the buyout. It's crazy. So there's that. Also, apparently the Calgary Flames are actively shopping Nazem Kadri. Remember, he had that huge year a couple of years ago for Colorado as they won the Stanley Cup, signed a big-time contract with the Flames. It's been okay, hasn't been great. It's more like what he used to be before he got to Colorado. I don't know. The altitude certainly agreed with him. Anyway, so he's available probably at a discount. Calgary might even pick up some of the freight on the contract, depending on what goes the other way. Kadri is a player that I don't know that he's the same player he used to be, but that's an edgy player, man.
Oh, yeah.
That is.
He's got some spice to him. And he can score.
He can. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Carolina to have that element in the lineup. But also we have this 4 Nations event coming up in February next year. Sweden, Finland, U.S., Canada. The 4 nations are going to play a round robin and then play a championship game. Sebastian Aho is named to the preliminary team. They basically gave you the starting 6 for each of the 4 nations. Aho joined by Alexander Barkov, Mikko Rantanen, Miro Heiskanen, Anton Lundell, and Jussi Saros. It was Asa Lundell, not Anton Lundell. He's a player. Stanley Cup champ, but Asa Lindell from Dallas. So they're starting blue line, plus UC Soros, Barkov, Aho, and Mika Rantanen. Team USA, Eichel, Matthew Tkachuk, Austin Matthews. It's pretty good.
That's a line.
Charlie McAvoy and Adam Fox on the blue line. Quinn Hughes also. I guess they're not playing a goalie.
No. No goalie.
That's fine. I assume Connor Hellebuck would be on that.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you just do it, everybody? Never mind. To Canada's team, Crosby, Braden Point, Brad Marchand, Cale Makar, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon. I guess we're not naming full teams, just choosing 6 players. Finland's team I gave you. Sweden, Victor Hedman, Eric Carlson, Gustav Forsling, William Nylander, Mika Zibanejad, Philip Forsberg. So those are the 4 nations tournament. Now, back to your rewind. I didn't want to forget to do that, and I will forget in many situations. All right, one more thing. I asked Philip Isley, because he had mentioned now Raleigh can do what we thought that they would do back in 1999 when the arena first opened, and I asked why hadn't any progress been made before.
Well, the documents initially allowed the owner of the Hurricanes to have these development rights, and so that was Carmanos.
Right.
So, and the city really had very little to do with that because it's in the city limits. They would have some zoning authority and things of that nature, but this was effectively, even though there's a bunch of asphalt around there, this is a greenfield development with all the infrastructure in place. So it's ideally situated for development. Carmanos really just didn't want to do it. And I was on the city council from 01 to 09, and we had a couple of ideas that went out there, but this never really had anybody that wanted to do it, and nor did Carmanos want to assign these rights to any developer in town. Things were also different early on, just between ownership of the Hurricanes, sort of the NC State dynamic. People were still trying to figure out where their lanes were, what would be good out there. But, for a variety of reasons, it just didn't happen, sadly. And that area in Raleigh has languished until very recently. And I do think this is going to jumpstart the early stages of development that are ongoing right now. This really is going to get these going on steroids, I believe.
Look, get it done. Let's break ground, put shovels in the ground, and let's get stuff built. Arena renovations would not begin until after next season. But again, there's a lot of room inside PNC Arena right now to create some really cool spaces, and they are going to expand that arena anyway. They're probably going to come out into the plaza. That's a pretty cool open area, and you wouldn't really, I don't think, damage it too much by taking some of that space away and creating even more indoor spaces. Quickly, let me just go to Pierre LeBrun's most recent query from Vegas, site of the draft, coming up in about 4 hours, about Jake Gensel. According to him, the Hurricanes have gone to 8 years, $8 million per for their offer. Remember, they're the only team that can offer 8 years. Nobody else can offer more than 7. So if the Hurricanes are at 8 times 8, that's a $64 million package. For somebody else to offer him $64 million, it would be over 9 years on an average annual value. How does that balance? The Hurricanes might be able to get away with lower AAV than some team that was only going to be able to offer him 7 years. Does it take a little bit more than that? I don't know. And it might go into free agency. It might go into Monday. Hurricanes would like to get this done today because it allows them to maybe use Martin Necas to get a high draft pick, among other things, now. If you can somehow draft somebody that can play in the league this year, that's even better. Somebody who you draft high enough, who's good enough to potentially play in the league this year, that would be even better. Also in Pierre LeBrun's column, still holding out hope on Brady Shea and Brett Pesce. But again, my feeling is that these are both going to Monday. Shea almost certainly will be priced out of Carolina's reach. Pesci has a chance, I think. Anyway, should be interesting tonight. Stay tuned at AGoldFan on Twitter. Victoria, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Happy Friday.
Have a great weekend. Go America.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.